Okay, guys, I'll get started with whoever is here so far. So your mics might not be muted, so you can mute them if you haven't already. I'll actually change that in the settings so that it will just be done automatically. So you're welcome to the new 4-week block. So I said in the WhatsApp group that this week is going to be have like a balance focus, but I decided that I'm going to actually keep that theme for the whole month, for the 4 weeks. I don't actually usually do that. Sometimes I focus on the hips, and the next week I might do the shoulders and different things, but I've decided anyway to stick with balancing for the month of August. Now we'll do a lot of other poses and flows within that, but I think it's nice to have, I think I'm gone a bit fuzzy, but it will come back in a second. It's kind of nice to have, I suppose, something that we're working on each week, and then as the weeks go on, you might find that you notice maybe an improvement, not that we're trying to improve anything, but some changes in the body or changes in certain balancing postures and some things that might come up over the next few weeks. So I don't normally chat at the beginning of the class. I just wrote down a couple of things I wanted to say so that I would remember what I wanted to say. So basically, I picked the theme of balance because I think you can do quite a lot with it. So maybe straight away you might think like, okay, balancing theme would be all to do with balancing postures. But when I was thinking about it in the last couple of days, it can be brought into yoga or into our everyday life in so many ways. So like we could, for example, this evening, I'm going to encourage you to try and balance the effort with the ease. So if you find yourself that you're in like a challenging pose, even though we might be putting quite a lot of effort to stay kind of balancing on the foot, or to, if you feel that your quad is heating up and getting quite tired, we're putting that effort in. But then to see if you can find, I was going to say comfort in the pose, but that sense of ease as well. So to be able to push and then let go. So effort and ease we're going to focus on this evening. And then, hi Jenny, you're more than welcome. Just in case you're, oh yeah, you have it, your mic. And I think Amy, your mic might be on as well.
Yeah, I just realised, sorry.
No worries. So Jenny, you just joined. So I was just explaining that we're going to focus on the theme of balance for the month of August. And I was saying that even though we might think initially that balance might be particularly to do with balancing postures in yoga, there's kind of a lot of other ways that we can work it into the classes. So this evening we're going to think about effort and ease. So even though we put a lot of effort into something we might be finding challenging, or maybe kind of getting a hold of a nice steady breath, or in a particular balanced posture, while we're putting that effort in, see then if you can kind of catch yourself at the boundary of the effort and then kind of ease off a little bit and find kind of that moment of, I suppose, calm and ease and pleasure. So that's effort and ease. Two things then. So while we're doing our balanced postures, there can be two different types of focus. So there's the drishti, which you might have heard me say before in other classes. So basically the drishti is your soft gaze. So in balancing postures, it's really important to find a point either on the ground or on the wall, something that's not moving, and then you're keeping that soft gaze. So we're not kind of staring through it, it's still a soft gaze, but we're holding it at a particular point, and that's called drishti. But then also another focus is dharana, it's the concentration. So in each pose then as well, if we kind of find that we're quite comfortable in, let's say, tree pose, vrikshasana, to try and keep that concentration in the pose rather than allowing the mind to go off somewhere else. And I think that was pretty much it. Some of the poses I'm going to keep each week so that we'll see kind of how we're benefiting from them, or if we're finding them a little bit more easy as time goes on. And then one or two poses we might work towards over the 4 weeks. So one I have in mind so far is half moon pose, which we won't actually even begin this evening, but maybe by the 4th week we'll work towards it. I actually find half moon pose quite difficult, so we'll see over the next 2 weeks how we get on with it. So that's all my chatting for today. Well, until we get moving with the class. So for now, just take a few moments. We're going to start in a seated position. So perhaps finding Sukhasana is a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Allow your hands to rest wherever they are comfortable in your lap. Palms may be facing down or up. And be mindful of the spine. So is there balance between the back and the front of the body? We're bringing length into the spine, lifting through the chest, rolling the shoulders up towards the ears and back and down. Lifting through the crown of the head. Keep your eyes, cheeks, jaw, and shoulders nice and soft. And just follow your breath as it moves in and out of your nose. A smooth flow between our in-breath and our out-breath. Just for the next moment or two, check in with how you're feeling, your energy. Perhaps you're buzzing, quite high energy, and you're looking for this yoga class to kind of bring you down, soften the energy. Or maybe you're feeling a little bit tired, lethargic, and you're looking for a bit of energy. It's a bit of tapas, heat. Just noticing. And allow your breath to deepen. Notice as you take a nice deep inhale through your nose, how the tummy expands. And as you exhale through the nose, your tummy falls back down. On your next inhale, feel that expansion in the tummy and the rib cage. And as you exhale, feel the release from the rib cage and the tummy. As you inhale, the expansion in the tummy, rib cage, and upper chest. As you exhale, letting go, upper chest, rib cage, and tummy. Following this 3-part yogic breath for another few minutes. Or you're welcome to just focus on the expansion of the inhale, the lightness, and the release of the exhale. And when you're ready, taking a nice deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, let go through the mouth. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, let go. From here, we'll move into Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, so alternate nostril breathing. If you're unsure of this breath work, you're welcome to open your eyes. You're keeping your left hand down on your left thigh and lifting your right hand up. Bringing your first two fingers to the base of the thumb. Using your thumb to block off the right nostril. And in a moment, using the ring finger to block off the left nostril. So to start, block off the right nostril and exhale fully through the left. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close left. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close right. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one round. Inhale left. Close. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close. Exhale left. When you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your chest. We'll open this evening's class with one Om. So the Sanskrit mantra Om, resembling unity. Inhale. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose again. And exhale, let go through the mouth. And bowing the head at Namaste. So one thing I forgot to say about the balancing postures is if you need to at any point to bring your hand to the wall, if you're close to a wall, or if you need to drop one of the feet for a minute, please do. So sometimes balancing poses can bring up a little bit of frustration, or it's kind of like your ego basically, because I think when you're not used to doing them, you'll be surprised at how often you might wobble or fall out of them. So if you need to, try and keep nice and calm. But if you need to bring your hand to the wall or bring the foot down, so at any time that you need. So from here, we'll come straight onto the hands and knees. So onto tabletop. So leave laptop over there. So in tabletop, your hands are below your shoulders, you're spreading your fingers, gripping the mat. Your knees are below your hips, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. Excuse me. And just allow your spine to kind of settle into its natural curve. So we're noticing the dip in the lower back and the kind of slight raise of the pelvis. And take a couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, you're tucking the toes and ever so slightly pushing the ground away from you through the hands and the toes and lifting your knees off the ground. But we're only hovering the knees. Think about slightly spreading the shoulder blades or drawing the navel back towards the spine, coming into this kind of bear-like pose. We'll just hold here for another couple of seconds. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly dropping the knees, untucking the toes. Just for a moment, sinking the hips down onto the heels. Reaching the arms out in front of you, making fists at the hands. We'll just rotate the wrists. So in one direction and then in the other. And we'll come back down into our hands and knees even again. And we work through cat-cow. For cat-cow, try your best to lengthen the breath, lengthen the movement. As you inhale, lifting the tailbone, drop the tummy, lift the chest, lift the chin. So we're really exaggerating the movement down the breath. And as you exhale, you're arching the spine, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin, spreading the shoulder blades, gripping the mat. Moving with your own breath, nice and steady and slow. As you inhale, you lift. Pulling the chest through. And as you exhale, you're tucking. Really arching the spine, pushing the ground away from you. And take 2 to 3 more rounds with your breath, nice and slowly. Keeping with the theme of balance, be mindful that you're keeping an even amount of weight between both hands and both knees. An even amount of weight between the tips of the fingers and the base of the palm of the hands. And on your next inhale, coming back through the center. Well done. From here, you're tucking the toes, lifting the knees and hips, coming into your first downward facing dog. Keep the hands shoulder width distance apart, spreading the fingers. For this first expression of downward facing dog, you're bringing some free movement down to the pose. So just moving in whatever way you feel your body needs to. That might be bending into one knee at a time as you stretch into the back of the calves and hamstrings. Or you might take a deep bend into one leg as you kind of open up the opposite hip. Always opening up the shoulder. And then doing the same on the opposite side. Stretching into the side body. And when you're ready, you're finding stillness in the pose, stillness in the feet. The feet are hip width distance apart. Take a soft bend into the knees, lifting through the tailbone, pushing the chest back towards the thighs. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Last one. As you inhale, look forward. Take a deep bend into the knees as you walk the feet all the way to the top of the mat. Allowing yourself to hang in ragdoll, bringing the tummy down onto the thighs, allowing the chest to fall towards the legs, the crown of the head towards the ground, your face, muscles relaxing towards your feet. Maybe cupping your elbows, ears between your arms, swaying gently from side to side. So if you are swaying from side to side, be mindful that you're swaying from the hips rather than the shoulders or arms. Your whole body becoming a pendulum. Coming back into the center, releasing the elbows. So keep the nice deep end of the knees, keep your arms heavy, shoulders heavy and head heavy, and begin to lengthen the body, uncurling the spine as you come all the way up to a standing position. I'm just taking a moment to get used to standing on your feet. Excuse me. So coming into Tadasana, which is mountain pose, you're stepping your feet together at the top of the mat. So just look down at the toes. So our feet are going to be really important as we kind of move through the sun salutations, but also the balancing postures. So the idea is that we're creating a nice, strong, sturdy foundation in the feet. So if you are in your bare feet, you're looking down at your toes, lifting them up. See if you can spread them out as far as possible and then plant them back down onto the ground. Finding the balance between the back and the front of the foot. Your knees are roughly hovering above the ankles, hips hovering above the knees. Drawing the tailbone down, navel back towards the spine. Shoulders are up, back and down, hands by your side, your fingers are energized, engaged, and lifting through the crown of the head. Option to close the eyes. Smooth, steady breathing. Again, like we were in the seated position, see if you can bring balance between the back and the front of the body. So we're not quite lifting through the chest, coming into a back bend. We're lengthening the back, lengthening the spine. Keeping the length at the front of the body, but slightly tucking the lower rib cage down. And we'll take 2 more breaths here. Okay, we're moving through starting on Namaskara A. First round is modified as you inhale, raise your arms, bringing your hands above your shoulders. Exhale, folding over, bent knees, bringing the palms down, tucking the chin. Inhale, lengthening the spine, palms to your shins. As you exhale, planting the hands, taking your time stepping back into plank. Lowering down, we drop the knees, hugging the elbows by the side, nice and slowly planting the front of the body to the ground. Point the toes. As you inhale, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, pushing through the ground, come back through tabletop, tucking the toes, lifting the knees and the hips, downward facing dog. You'll take 3 breaths here in downward facing dog. Make sure they're nice and slow. 3 to 4 seconds for your inhale. 3 to 4 seconds for your exhale. Soften the shoulders away from your ears. Again, you can have a bend of the knees or lengthen the legs. Keep in mind that we're keeping the tailbone lifted, lengthen the spine. On your next inhale, looking forward, walk either stepping to the top of the mat, half lift. Inhale, palms to shins, lift the chest. As you exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, squeeze the glutes, rising all the way up, hands above your shoulders. Exhale, Tadasana. As we move on through the next 2 rounds, you can do the modified version or the full expression. Inhale, raise your arms, hands above your shoulders, or palms together as you look up, lengthening the tailbone. Exhale, folding over, bent or straight knees, plant the hands, tuck the chin. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Palms to shins or fingertips down. Exhale, stepping back into plank and lowering down. Option to drop the knees. Or if you're coming down through Chaturanga, you're hugging the elbows by your side, bringing the body parallel to the ground. And as you inhale, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, point the toes, squeeze the glutes, looking up. Exhale, back through tabletop or rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. And holding here in downward facing dog for 3 breaths. You're pushing the chest back towards your thighs. Ears are between the upper arms, but we're bringing that space again, softening the shoulders away from the neck. Last breath. Inhale, looking forward, walking or stepping to the top of the mat, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. As you exhale, folding forward, releasing down. Inhale, lift the chest, root your eyes, coming all the way up. Exhale, Tadasana. Really nice. Inhale, raise the arms. Using the whole exhale, folding forward, palms down, tucking the chin. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping back into plank, lowering down, either dropping the knees or coming through chaturanga. Hugging the elbows by your side. Point the toes. Inhale, lift the chest. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the glutes. So low cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, back through tabletop or rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. Really nice. 3 smooth, steady breaths. With each inhale, imagine that you're lengthening the spine and lifting the tailbone. And with each exhale, your tummy draws in and up. On your next inhale, looking forward, walking or stepping to the top of the mat, half lift. Lovely. Exhale, releasing, folding forward. Inhale, root to rise, coming all the way. Exhale, Tadasana. Surya Namaskara B. Inhale, bending the knees, sweeping the fingertips, Utkatasana chair pose. You hold here for 3 breaths. So look down to see if you can see your toes. If not, bring your knees back slightly. Length into the tailbone, so you're tucking the tailbone, drawing the navel back, arms above the shoulders, or bringing the palms a little bit wider. Inhale. As you exhale, folding forward. Inhale, half lift. Lovely. Exhale, stepping back into plank in the same breath if you can, lowering down. Inhale, lift the chest, roll the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, lifting the hips. Your gaze or your drishti is between the legs or towards your navel. Again, balance between the back and front of the body. Even though we're bringing length into the spine, we're not allowing the rib cage to flare too much. Gently tucking the rib cage. Last breath. Inhale, look forward, stepping to the top of the mat, half lift. As you exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the chest, rising all the way up. And exhale, hands by your side. So we'll do the same again. This time we're going to add in Virabhadrasana A. Warrior 1. Inhale, bending the knees, sweeping the fingertips. Utkatasana chair pose. 1 breath. As you exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, stepping back into plank and lowering down. Nice and slowly. Inhale, push the ground away from you, lifting the heart center, squeeze the glutes, look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 breath. As you inhale, lifting the right foot. As you exhale, looking forward, you're stepping the right foot between the hands. Your knee is roughly above the ankle. Your back leg is nice and strong. You can keep the heel lifted or plant the heel down. So if you're planting the heel down, you might need to step the left foot out slightly. Planting the heel. Lift the chest. Inhale, rising all the way up. Virabhadrasana B, Virabhadrasana A, Warrior 1. Your hips are facing the short edge of the mat. Arms above the shoulders or palms together looking up. We're lifting through the chest, keeping space now in the lower back. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, releasing the hands down either side of the right foot, stepping back into plank and lowering down. Inhale as you lift the chest, roll the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really nice. Take 1 full breath in downward facing dog, and we'll do the same on the left side. Inhale, raise the left leg. As you exhale, stepping that left foot through, taking your time. The back leg is nice and strong, keeping the heel lifted. So let's just bring that kind of practice into our left foot now. We're almost spreading the toes and really rooting down to the left foot, using that to balance the body as you come into Virabhadrasana, a warrior one, lifting the upper body all the way up. Your hips are facing forward. Noticing where you feel the sensation in your body. You might feel your thighs kind of switch on, building some energy and heat. You might feel a nice stretch coming down to the calf. Inhale, raise the arms, lifting through the fingertips. As you exhale, releasing, planting the hands, stepping back into plank and lowering down nice and slowly. Inhale as you lift the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really nice. Take 3 breaths here. You're welcome to come into child's pose at any time during the class as well if you need to take a little break. So using this moment to reconnect with the breath. Remember the balance between effort and ease. Inhale, looking forward, walking or stepping to the top of the mat, half lift. And as you exhale, releasing, falling forward, hugging the upper body down. Inhale, sweeping the fingertips, Utkatasana chair pose, sitting down into the chair, tucking the tailbone. If your shoulders feel quite tight, you can bring your arms out into a Y shape or palms together in front of your chest. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Keep sinking those hips down, tucking the tailbone. Well done, 2 more breaths. Nice, slow yogi breaths, last one. Lovely, inhale, slowly lifting up. And exhale, releasing down, giving the legs a bit of a shake, shaking your arms, well done. I'm just going to take a moment to take a little meditative moment. So you're separating the feet. Just kind of bring a little bit of a bounce or softening into the knees. Bring your palms by your side, facing forward. Take a moment to see if you feel any different now in comparison to when you began the class. Feeling where the energy is building in the body. Maybe feeling your heart beating in your chest, your breath. And slowly opening your eyes. So we're going to come through a little bit of a balance sequence. There's just 3 poses that we're going to link together. So just a reminder, if you need the wall, or if you need, the light is like that. If you need the wall, or if you need to drop your foot at any stage, do. Pick your focal point, your drishti point, and hold that gaze, and then keep your breath nice and smooth, nice and steady. So we'll be moving into Warrior 3 first, Virabhadrasana C. So to come into Virabhadrasana C, you're bringing your palms together in front of your chest. Your feet are a little bit apart. You can be kind of to the top of the mat, but depending on the space that you have, so make sure you have enough space to kind of tilt forward. Find your drishti, your gaze point. We're rooting down into the left foot to begin with, so spreading the toes. Finding that kind of sensation of the 4 corners of the feet. And then when you're ready, kind of bring some energy and not necessarily tightness. We're not locking out the knee, but kind of strengthening the thigh, flexing the right foot. So we're keeping that leg nice and strong. And ever so slowly, begin to lengthen the right leg back behind you as you tip the upper body towards the ground. So as you begin to tip forward, your drishti point will move. You might then need to find a space or a focal point on the ground. Taking your time, moving nice and slowly. So you might come to here. Or a little bit further, maybe your whole body goes into the shape of a T. So if you can hold here for another few breaths, keep in mind, if your right hip feels like it's opening, see if you can kind of tuck that right hip down so that it's in line with the left hip. Keep flexing the right foot. You can keep your hands together in front of your chest, or maybe lengthening the arms, bringing them in line with the shoulders. Inhale. As you exhale, just softening into the left knee. Bringing hands back to the chest if you need, slowly transitioning through the center. If you need to, you can drop that right foot down. And then when you're ready, we're sweeping the right foot up, bending into the right knee. Utthita Hasta Padangustasana, we're flexing the right foot, keeping the hands together in front of the chest. See if you can really pull the knee up and feel that now in the hip flexor. And hold here for 5 breaths. You might feel that kind of energy and cramping in the left foot, almost there. Balancing between the effort and the ease. 2 more breaths. Last one, smooth, steady breathing. And from here, we're going to move into Vrikshasana, which is tree pose. So again, you can drop that right leg if you need, shake out the left foot. If you can keep on going, you're opening your right knee out to the side. And then you're bringing the right foot either to the ankle, calf, or to your inner thigh. Just be mindful that you're going below or over the knee joint. Keeping the hands together in front of the chest or lengthening the arms. Vrikshasana tree pose. We're opening through the right knee, feel that opening in the right hip. Almost there. And 1 more breath, well done. Inhale, lift through the fingertips, rooting down through the left foot. As you exhale, bringing the hands together in front of your chest if they're not already there. Knee back into the center, releasing the foot. Slowly dropping the right foot down when shaking that left foot out. Well done. So you might notice over the next few weeks, as we kind of continue to practice a variation of that sequence, that kind of cramping feeling in the left foot and the right foot when we do it in a minute might ease over time. So we'll do the same on the opposite side. So this time we're rooting down into the right foot, bringing your hands together in front of your chest. You're welcome to bring the hands to the waist. It just depends on what feels good for your body. And nice and slowly, so you're picking your drishti on the wall first, and then you'll be moving it to the ground. Bring strength now into the left leg, flexing the left foot, and then slowly sweeping the left leg back behind you. We're tipping the body forward again. This might be as far as you come, or you might bring the left leg in line with the left hip, bringing the whole body down to a T. See if you can tuck that left hip in, balance in the hips, arms, palms together in front of the chest, or arms above the shoulders, spreading through the fingers. Really good. 2 more breaths. Again, noticing if any frustration comes up or if you're enjoying the challenge. Inhale. And as you exhale, bend into the right knee, coming all the way up, bringing your hands to the front of your chest, sweeping that left leg through. Again, option to drop the foot down if you need. So we're pulling the left knee up towards us, flexing the left toes, hands together in front of our chest, or bringing the hands to the waist. Just taking a moment to reconnect to the breath, finding that kind of midline in the body again. Inhale. As you exhale, opening the left knee out to the side, and then bringing the left foot to the ankle, calf, or again the inner thigh. Hands together in front of your chest, or growing your branches, lifting through the fingers. We'll hold here for 4 more breaths. Two more, well done. Last one. Inhale as you lift through the fingertips. As you exhale, bringing the knee into the center, hands back to the chest, dropping the foot down. Well done. Shaking out the right foot, shaking out the left. Good stuff. And just taking a moment again to soften the knees, separate the feet, palms facing forward. And find the balance between the front and back of the feet. Find the balance between the inhale and the exhale. Or if you'd like to kind of calm the nervous system a little bit more, you're finding a little bit more length in the exhale. From here, we're coming into kind of another toe, it's like, I was going to say it's a toe balancing pose, but that sounds way more challenging than it is. So you're bringing your feet together. So when we come into this we're transitioning down to the ground. So you're going to try and kind of keep squeezing through the ankles, the calves, the knees, the thighs, even if they don't kind of meet fully in all of the places. You're just imagine that you're squeezing the legs together. Inhale, bringing the arms above the shoulders. Keep reaching through the fingertips. And as you exhale, begin to bend into the knees, you're rolling onto the toes. And you're sinking the body down towards the heels. Going as slowly as possible, keeping the body upright. You're welcome to bring the hands together in front of the chest if you need. Be mindful that you're not coming all the way down and resting the bum on the heels or the calves. See if you can kind of push into the ground, lift slightly. And of course, if you need to bring the hips down, you're welcome. This might not be accessible for anyone, for everyone, but you're welcome to see then if you can roll from the toes through the feet onto the heels and then come back onto the bum. Well done. So from here, coming into Navasana, both pose. You're bringing, you're coming onto your sit bones, flexing the sit bones, bringing your feet together, rolling the shoulders up, back and down. Coming onto the heels. And then when you're ready, lifting the heels off the ground, lift the chest. Keep the hands on the thighs, or you're welcome to release the hands. Squeezing the thighs towards the chest, lifting the heart center. Finding your drishti, keeping your breath nice and soft. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one, inhale. As you exhale, crossing the ankles, planting the hands or fists, lifting the hips, just giving the pelvis a little bit of a wiggle and a shake, releasing the lower back. Well done. So from here, we're going to go into kind of another little balancing posture on your sit bones. It's kind of like I heard another teacher call it a cosmic egg, but it's actually quite fun to do. So you're sitting on your sit bones, you're pulling your legs in towards you, again squeezing the knees together, and then holding onto the front of the legs with your arms. So you're almost coming into this kind of like hugging position. You're welcome to come onto the heels of the feet or the toes. And again, we're kind of finding the space kind of at the back of the sit bones, not the space we're kind of rolling onto the back of the sit bones. So be mindful that you're not coming onto the tailbone. And then if you can, when you're ready, you're just lifting the toes or lifting the heels and just floating the feet ever so slightly off the ground. Staying here with the hands around your legs, or you're welcome to release the hands. That might catch your lower back, so if it does, you're bringing the hands around the waist again. Make sure that you're lifting through the chest. We'll hold here for about 7 more breaths. You're really pulling the legs in towards you if you can. And you're kind of almost finding the balance just at the tip of the sit bones, using your core. Well done. 3 more breaths. And the last one. Inhale, lovely. And as you exhale, crossing the ankles, planting the hands of the fists, lifting up. Again, giving your pelvis a bit of a shake. And from here, we're going to roll the ankles going onto our hands, working into plank pose. Actually, before you go into plank pose, to just release the lower back a little bit, drop the knees down, and we'll settle the hips into child's pose. So you're sinking the hips down onto the heels, the knees are apart. Bringing the forehead down onto the ground. You might even kind of not shake, but move the hips from side to side nice and slowly. Just kind of moving into the lower back. And then find stillness and child's pose. And when you're ready, coming back to your tabletop. So from here, we're going to go into plank pose and then into side plank. But we'll start off with plank pose. So you're bringing your hands below your shoulders, spreading your fingers and stepping your feet back. So just be mindful that you're not kind of lifting the hips. The aim is to kind of drop the hips, but again, not let that, you don't want them to dip too much. You're trying to kind of brace the navel back towards the spine. Spread the shoulders, really pushing into the ground, spreading the shoulders. And then see if you can lift the chest slightly. So as you lift the chest, you might feel that a little bit more at the front of the body. So we're just staying in plank pose to begin with. If that feels a little bit too much for you, you're welcome to drop the knees. Keep the hips low and lifting through the chest. You'll feel that in the tummy still. 2 more breaths. The last one. Lovely. And when you're ready, dropping the knees. So I'm going to kind of come into side plank nice and slowly for the first one. I want to kind of really set up the alignment because sometimes when you move quite quickly, we don't get the alignment so spot on, and it's really important in this. So to come into side plank, bring your right hand to the middle of the mat. Make sure your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder are stacked above each other. And then when you're ready, you can lengthen your left leg and keep the right knee down. So this is the modified version of the pose. So your right hand, your right knee, and your left foot are in a straight line along the mat. And then you can lengthen the left fingertips. You can still kind of get quite a lot of benefit from this pose as you lift through the left side body and keep the arms in line, looking straight ahead or towards the left palm. So you're welcome to stay in this variation of side plank. Otherwise, you're lengthening the right leg, bringing it to the left foot, and you can stack or stagger the feet. So staggering is a little bit easier than stacking. Make sure that you're keeping the wrist, elbow, and shoulder stacked in your right arm. And keep lifting through the left hip. We'll take 2 more breaths here. 1 more. Inhale. And as you exhale, dropping the left hand down and coming down onto your knees. Just sinking the hips back for a moment and just giving that right wrist a bit of a shake. So I just saw one of you were kind of rolling out the right wrist. I forgot to tell you so that you know for the next side now, but you're also able to come onto the forearm. So if it's catching your wrist and then coming onto the forearm, just make sure that the elbow is below the shoulder and that the hand is in line with the elbow. Okay, so when we're ready, we're coming into side plank on the left side. So you're welcome to come from tabletop or stepping the feet back, coming into full plank. Bringing the left hand to the middle of the mat, stacking the wrist, elbow, and shoulder. Or coming down onto that forearm, keeping the elbow below the shoulder. Your left knee is down for the modified variation, lengthening the right leg, or lengthening the left leg, stacking and staggering feet. Be mindful that your hips aren't sinking down, you're squeezing through the left side of the body, lifting the right hip, maybe looking up towards the right hand. And we'll take 3 more breaths here. So it's so important to keep the arm that is kind of rooted onto the ground stacked and safe. One more breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, bringing the hand down, dropping the knees, sinking the hips back. We'll take child's pose for 3 to 4 breaths. And in your own time, slowly come out of child's pose, bringing the legs out in front of you. And we'll finish off with Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So you're bending into the knees, bringing the knees out to the side, the soles of the feet together. You're holding onto the shins, ankles, or interlacing your fingers around your toes. So wherever your hands are, just make sure that you can keep length in the spine. Lift the chest and roll the shoulders back. Your feet can be as close or as far away from the body as you like. Just focus on allowing the body to soften towards the ground, feeling the legs and the knees become a little bit heavier as they open through the hips and pelvis and groin. Bring length into the back of the neck as you tuck the chin towards the chest. And we'll take 3 more breaths here. Again, a reminder to balance the effort with the ease. So maybe just using this last pose here to not try. And just allow the body to be completely soft, not worrying about its alignment or the shape. From here, we'll take a vinyasa to come into our closing shavasana. So you're welcome to swing the legs around and come into plank. Otherwise, you're crossing at the ankles, rolling over the ankles, stepping back into plank. Once you've come into plank pose, take a nice deep breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, lower down, option to drop the knees. Take your time moving nice and slowly. As you inhale, lift the chest. Roll the shoulders back, really lifting through the heart center, looking up. Exhale, pushing the ground away from you, back through tabletop or rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. And take a few more breaths here, and whenever you're ready, come down onto the mat. Prepare for closing shavasana, so make sure you're nice and comfy, cozy, and just take your time. Maybe keeping that kind of slow breath, slow movement until you reach the ground. Either bringing length into the legs, keeping the feet apart, allowing the feet to fall out to the side. Or you can bend into the knees. If you are bending into the knees, bring the feet a little bit wider than the hips and allow your knees to fall together. This can feel quite nice in the lower back. Bringing the hands by your side, palms facing up. We'll do 3 releasing, cleansing breaths before you fully melt into the support of the ground. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, release. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Allowing yourself to soften, feeling the support of the ground beneath you. Letting go of any focus, concentration that you had during the class. Feeling your whole body settle into the ground. allowing your breath to deepen. Feeling the rise and fall, your tummy and your chest again. Bringing soft and gentle movements into your hands and feet, wrists and ankles. Gently move your head from side to side. As you take an inhale, bring your feet together. Point your toes, lengthening the arms above your head, stretching the toes and the fingers away from each other. And as you exhale, bending into the knees, releasing the breath, rolling onto your right side. Slowly bringing yourself up to a seated position. Keep the eyes softly closed and bring your hands together in front of your chest. We'll close this evening's class with 1 Om and 3 Shantis. So Shanti meaning peace. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Breathing into the nose and releasing through the mouth. Bowing the head for Namaste. Well done, everyone. So anyone who was here from the first block of the 4, thanks for joining again. And if you're a newcomer, thanks so much. It's lovely to have you. Just while I remember, and I'll try and remind you again next week, everyone mightn't have blocks, and that's okay, but if you have a yoga block, if you can have that for next week. If not, if you have a thick book, like the Harry Potter books, nice thick book, so that like we work towards coming into half moon pose. And I always find it handy to have something to support me. If you don't have like a really thick book, you can even just stack up some smaller books. It's okay, we won't be kind of relying on it too much. It's just to kind of bring the floor up a little bit more for us. And I think that is it. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to hold on and ask me. Yeah, I think that's everything. Have a lovely week, and thanks so much. I'll put the recording in a little bit later this evening. Mind yourselves.
Thanks,
Thank
Victoria.
you so much, Victoria. Thank
Bye.
you.
See you later. Have a lovely week.
Thanks
a million.
Thank you. Mind yourself. Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks. You figured that out with the WhatsApp, did you?
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to explain it, but delighted you found it anyway.
Yeah, I did. Thanks very much. And going through the tablet, my name, if I don't access through a link on my tablet, it'll come up probably as Galaxy Tab or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure my name isn't up. If I go through a link on the tablet, my name comes up, but on my phone, it comes up for either the meeting ID or
the link.
My name, but I don't know what it is with the tablet. So I was kind of thinking halfway through the class, I was thinking, oh, I bet you my name is not.
It's the Galaxy. Yeah, that's okay, but I knew exactly who you were anyway, so it was all good. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Oh, I'm glad. That's good.
No, I did.
Nice to have you anyway, and mind yourself.
Thank you. Have a lovely week. I'll see you next week.
Thanks a million. Bye-bye.